Multi-step conversions. Conversions keep the same amount of the drug. It is just measured differently. A multi-step conversion occurs when more than one conversion is needed to solve. And a few things that we want to keep in mind for our conversions is that we have 1 kilogram is equal to 2.2 pounds, and 1,000 milligrams is equal to 1 gram. Let us now go to a problem. Example 1. Bryce will be testing the patient's tolerance to the drug chloroprocaine. Following the standard initial dose of chloroprocaine to a new patient and taking into consideration the patient's weight and height, Bryce will need to administer 1.25 milliliters of chloroprocaine of a 2% solution. Since this drug arrives to the pharmacy in milligrams, how many milligrams are needed for 1.25 milliliters of chloroprocaine? Let us use 2 grams per 100 milliliters to convert, and we're going to round our answer to the nearest whole number. So for doing this problem, let's kind of go back to the problem and see what we are being asked. So in this last sentence right here on this paragraph, we need to know how many milligrams are needed for 1.25 milliliters of chloroprocaine. So we're going to start off with 1.25 milliliters. So this is what we're starting with, and we need to know how many milligrams. So milligrams is our end goal. So now we're going to use this hint that we're going to use 2 grams per 100 milliliters. So with using this, we'll use this in the first step. So we have 1.25 milliliters times, and then we have 2 grams per 100 milliliters. Now we know we needed milliliters on the bottom in order to cross out the milliliters right there, as when what's on the top and what's on the bottom to across from each other, we will cancel out. So therefore, we needed milliliters to cross out. So now we have 2 grams and we have 100 milliliters. Now we need to go to milligrams. So the next step would be to convert grams to milligrams. And we know from that conversion, we have 1 gram is equal to 1,000 milligrams. So now we have our problem all set up because we get rid of milliliters and we have grams we get rid of. So let us do this multiplication. So we take 1.25 times 2 times 1,000. This is equal to 2,500, but we need to divide by 100. So we will then just go and divide by 100. And this will equal 25. And because we know our units, it's milligrams. So it will take 25 milligrams in order to get a 1.25 milliliters of chloroprocaine. So let's go to another example. Example 2. Austin is preparing a medicinal 0.5% solution of 50 milligrams of ropivacaine for a regional anesthetic. However, the solution needs to have ropivacaine administered in milliliters. So Austin must convert 50 milligrams into milliliters. How many milliliters of ropivacaine will Austin need to prepare to correctly make the solution? You will need to use 0.5 grams per 100 milliliters to convert. So let's go back to our problem to see what we're being asked. So we need to know how many milliliters of the drug do we need. And we're given 50 milligrams. So we need to get milligrams into milliliters. So let us first write out 50 milligrams as our starting point. Next, we know we need to use this, but we have milligrams. So let us use the conversion of milligrams to grams. So we put 1,000 milligrams is equal to 1 gram. We know we need to put milligrams on the bottom in order to get rid of milligrams here. So then we have grams here. So now let us multiply again, but we're going to use this conversion. So we're going to put grams on the bottom because grams are right here. So we know that we need to put it on the bottom. And then we'll put milliliters on top. So we have 0.5 grams per 100 milliliters. And this will give us our solution because we get rid of grams and we're left with just milliliters, which is what we need. So we will multiply 50 times 1 times 100. And then we will divide all that by 1,000 times this 0.5. So let us use our calculator. $50 times 100 is equal to 5,000. Now, 1,000 times 0.5 is equal to 500. So we are going to take 5,000 divided by 500, and this equals 10. So we will need 10 milliliters of this drug. So let us do one more example. The recommended oral dose of erythromycin for children with otitis media is 10 milligrams per kilogram on the first day, followed by 5 milligrams per kilogram on days 2 through 5. What doses should be given to a 44-pound boy on day 1 and on days 2 through 5? So for this problem, we know that we need to convert the weight of the boy to kilograms first, because this drug is given in kilograms. We will take, on day 1, we have 44 pounds, and we know our conversion to convert from pounds to a kilogram is like this, and we have 2.2 pounds per 1 kilogram. Because this is here, this pound's on the top, so we need this here in order to cross it out. So now we have the boy's weight in kilograms with this conversion. Now we need to know how much drugs need to be administered to the child. So we know that it's 10 milligram per 1 kilogram. So this is perfect because this crosses out here and here for kilograms. So now we have our day 1, we have our unit conversion. So let us do this problem. We have 44 times this 10 on the top, which is equal to 440. Now we need to divide by 2.2, which will give us 200. So our answer is 200 milligrams for day 1. But we need to know what also days 2 through 5 is. So we start out with the same weight, 44 pounds. We do the same first step of 1 kilogram per 2.2 pounds. So we get rid of the pounds. And then the last thing is, but on day 2 through 5, we use 5 milligrams per kilogram. So we use 5 milligrams per 1 kilogram. And so this will change the answer for day 2 through 5. So we have 44 times 5, which is equal to 220. And we're going to divide by 2.2 to give us 100 milligrams. And this is for days 2 through 5.